What is going on, everyone? Welcome into Big Time Football Talk. So we had the monster Matthew Stafford trade that I want to get into. I know, being a Lions fan, and a lot of some Lions fans out there that watch my show that subscribe to me. Thank you guys so much. I want to dig into the Stafford trade. So when this was announced, I was very ecstatic, but I knew the deal with the Rams, they wasn't going to include a first round pick this year. So let's get to the details. 2 first-round picks, 2022 first-round pick and a 2023 first-round pick, and then an extra third-round pick this year in 2021. And the thing is, I like this deal a lot. This is a franchise-altering deal, but it's too early to say I love it because you really got to hit on these draft picks. And being a Lions fan, I know they got new GM. It is not always a sure thing to hit on these first-round picks, so they got to do their evaluations and bring in some good talent. But next year's draft, I'm really excited about because the Lions. This might not be a very good team. Got Jared Goff too, who I'll talk a little bit about later, but this team could be a very bad team, and it's a little too early to look at dive into next year's draft too closely, but Kayvon Thibodeaux, edge rusher from the University of Oregon, is a big-time player. And, you always talk about those edge rushers, whether it's Chase Young, Nick Bosa, Joey Bosa, Myles Garrett. Those are always going to be guys that you're going to talk about a lot, and they'll go and likely go in the top 3. And having an edge rusher is just so big to your team. Nick Bosa last year helped lead the 49ers to the Super Bowl. Chase Young was crucial on the Washington defense this year. And, Myles Garrett has been a staple for the Browns besides the suspension. It's been a staple on their defense. And having that elite edge rusher is huge. And, even if they're not high enough top 3 to get them, they'll still have, leverage to, move up. So the bottom line is they could just have some fun and, really almost be kind of dictate and control these next 2 drafts, which is so crucial. So, and then an extra third-round pick this year I think is big because if you remember, they're going to have 2 third-round picks this year from the Darius Slay trade last year, and also an extra 5th-round pick. So, like this deal a lot. This is a deal that you just don't see the Lions make too often. I mean, it looked like it was more Stafford wanted out, so they had to make a deal. But, this is just a trade, and it brings a lot of excitement and a lot of optimism that, you just haven't seen in years past being a Lions fan. And, they have some potential to bring in, a lot of draft picks and a lot of serious talent to this organization and really especially help out the defensive side of the ball. So, I was doing some practice mock drafts, and, I can see some scenarios them going, very defensive heavy this year. And, I'm really torn. I still think they could go quarterback. To me, I think I've narrowed it down to, 4 best options this year. First being Trey Lance, a quarterback from North Dakota State. I really like what Lance does. He's really grown on me. He's a super athletic guy who throws the ball well, throws it on the run, and, is just a shown ability to just make plays and improvise. So, so Trey Lance up there, and Justin Fields. I've talked a lot about Justin Fields about this podcast. I think his ceiling is very high. I don't even think he scratched the surface for how good he could be. But bottom line with Fields, in the way I talk about Fields, the way I talk about Herbert and Josh Allen, big, physical. Got all the tools: arm strength, athleticism, ability to scramble and make plays. So. And I still think, Fields has room to improve, but gets the right coaching. I mean, I think the ceiling is very high. A lot of people talk a ceiling could be higher than Trevor Lawrence in the NFL, which is crazy to think. But, I don't think that's unrealistic. I think that's definitely possible. I think, I'm not going to – this sounds like I'm kind of, limiting Lawrence and Joe Burrow, but I think they're more of I think they have a super high floor, but I don't know if their ceiling, I don't know if they could reach the ceiling that the Josh Allens, Mahomes have, but I think they'll, obviously Lawrence and, Burrow, they got that they got the claim to be the first overall pick just based on really consistency, and they never really had down moments. They never really had games that really, you question their talent. So, but so back to it. Justin Fields, another one. Micah Parsons. Bottom line, he's just an absolute freak. And there's some depth at linebacker. I mean, Dylan Moses has really slipped down the board. Monty Rice, another guy from Georgia that I like. Joseph Asai, DN, outside linebacker, whatever you want to play him. I think he'd be kind of an outside in a 3-4. And Micah Parsons, we're talking about a guy that's 6'4", 240, 250, could pop a 4'4", low 5'5". I mean, that's serious speed, strength, athleticism, and just a league that's, you got guys, Devin White, Roquan Smith, Tremaine Edmonds. Athleticism at linebacker is the bottom line. And then the next guy, Jalen Waddle. Jalen Waddle is actually my number one receiver on the board. And I think most people would disagree. It's kind of like most people have him in the top 3, but he's normally 2 or 3. It's either Jamar Chase or Devontae Smith. The reason I like Jalen Waddle the best is not the tallest guy, but was it 5'10", 5'11", but short, compact, about 180, 85 pounds, so he's pretty solidly built. Shown ability to make contested catches. He's going to run 4.3, if not 4.2. Some people thought he was faster than Henry Ruggs. So we're talking about world-class speed and just an ability, great hands, so ability to make contested catches. I mean, you see Tyreek Hill, how dangerous that is. I mean, it really just keeps defense on their toes, and you got a guy that runs a 4.2, 4.3. I mean, even Henry Ruggs this year, I mean, he was very dangerous for the Raiders this season. So, yeah, I think those are the top 4 right there. So, yeah, this year is, I think is a crucial draft for the Lions. They could pick up some talent and focus in on the defensive side of the ball. So the other thing they get Jared Goff in return. Jared Goff, to me, I was a believer in Jared Goff coming into the 2016 draft when he was drafted first overall to the LA Rams. I was a believer in Jared Goff because he made a lot of good throws at Cal. And if people remember, he was part of the reason that Cal football really made a huge turnaround. That was a struggling program. I think when he got there as a freshman, they had won just one football game, and he was just crucial in turning around that program and just making NFL throws in a system that ran a lot of RPOs, and he was under pressure, and he showed his ability to make throws under pressure. And so he came with the Rams, struggled as a rookie, but had Jeff Fisher, really not a great coach and really not any sort of special offensive mind. So that really didn't work out, and he had a really poor rookie year. And then Sean McVay comes in, and a lot of excitement, a guy that really knows the offensive side of the ball very well, and he has a big year. And they make a playoff run, and then 2018 had all the success. It just showed another year, another step of improvement, and they get all the way to the Super Bowl. And the Super Bowl run falls just short to the New England Patriots. He didn't really play well there, but I think part of Goff is something mentally. I think he's a guy that when you push him, he drives well, but I kind of question him as like he's not really like that alpha competitor. He's kind of just too cool and kind of just too calm. Kind of needs a little bit more of a drive, and that's the thing. John Gruden would always say, sometimes this is the best thing, being cut or traded for a player. Sometimes this is the best motivation for a football player to be cut or traded. So we'll see what Jared Goff does with the Lions. I hope this is a wake-up call for him because this is one of those things where your career is kind of on the line at this point. Same with Carson Wentz. I mean, it's kind of crazy they've had similar careers. So really, guys that improved and got better came in, hungry and, have kind of just leveled off and have kind of showed maybe that they're just kind of just average quarterbacks in the league, that's just what they'll be. So hopefully this is kind of a wake-up call to Jared Goff, and he really just gets in and, kicks it in Detroit and has success. And so it would be a win-win. If he doesn't succeed, this year they could have taken Trey Lance, and Trey Lance will be their quarterback. And then next year there's good quarterbacks in the draft. If this year they choose to, punt the quarterback position like I, did hypothetically in my mock draft, and you take guys like, Micah Parsons, Caden Stearns, I think is a guy that's been forgotten about as safety from Texas, and you go that direction. So, but yeah, next year Slovis and Howell and I think is Spencer Rattler. I think is eligible too from Oklahoma. He'll be an interesting prospect. So next year's quarterback draft class will be interesting too. But just so optimistic for the Lions, and not going to just get overly whelmed in love with this trade, but very, very excited for what the future holds. And as a guy that just loves the draft and love how much fun the draft can be, it's fun. It'll be fun in 2022, 2023 too. And next year has a pretty good receiver class, two coming from Ohio State too, Olave and Garrett Wilson, notable names on the board at wide receiver. So I'll shift into the Rams side of the ball. So the bottom line is the LA Rams will be a Super Bowl contender next year with Matthew Stafford. He's I think a lot of people who have underestimated will see the type of talent that Matthew Stafford is. He's never really had a roster like this, and the Rams defense is just really, really something, with Jalen Ramsey and Aaron Donald. I really respect what Les Steed does. Instead of just keeping those picks, we'll just go out and get stars, because if you have a couple studs like that, that's already a huge impact on the defense. Like, we're talking about, they likely have, not even likely, I'll say it, they have the best cornerback and the best defensive, not even best defensive lineman. I think Darren Donald's the best defensive player in football, and I don't even know if that's really debatable, to be honest. But so basically, we'll go by position: best defensive lineman, best cornerback in the NFL, and that just is, that's just been critical to their success on the defensive side of the ball. So, why not just make trades and get as many studs as you can on your team? And, that's what they're thinking. Matthew Stafford, even though, Detroit, his career's been a little bit up and down in Detroit, hasn't really had a running game, has, had some poor offensive lines. Defense has been up and down at times. He's played for several offensive coordinators. He goes to LA. He's got a, offensive genius in McVay and his star-studded defense. And their offensive line is still pretty good. It'll be interesting what happens with Andrew Whitworth. I mean, he's getting up there in age at tackle position. But they should have a good running game. Akers is a guy that just kept getting better and better this year. And I know Stafford will be grateful to have Akers next year and an ability to run the ball and set up some good play action. So, and the receiving core, they could have had another guy to it. Cooper Kupp and Woods, pretty solid players. And, Higbee's has shown some ability too at the tight end position. So the Rams, I think they got to be the division favorite, and they'll be right there as far as Super Bowl contenders. I think the 49ers will be back with Bosa getting healthy. So that side of it, I think LA will be right in the mix of it. So it was on the Rams side, I don't think they really got screwed. I mean, it was kind of I think some Rams fans will say it was quite the haul, and I think there's a lot of LA Rams that'll question Stafford just because maybe they don't watch him on TV. If you're out in LA, you probably don't watch the Lions and Stafford too often. But bottom line, he'll give them a chance to succeed with his. Stafford has the ability just to make a lot of great throws with the rocket arm. So if you're a Rams fan, you should be excited and. But you're going to have, likely maybe only a few-year window to get to the Super Bowl. But, and I wish the best of luck for Stafford, a guy that was a well respected in Detroit and a big time competitor, and helped us win some football games and remain competitive even through a lot of the ups and downs through his career from 2009 to 2020. So, but yeah, that's all I have for you today. Thanks for tuning in, guys, to this clip of Big Time Football Talk. Make sure to stay tuned for more clips in the show. Till next time, peace.